Holy cheese. In Arma 3 King of the Hill, it's always like the best strategy to get on the opposite team's side of the objective because they're always driving in vehicles, they're always landing helicopters, and you've always, if you've got an RPG, can take anything out. Basically, I mean, any vehicle, a Ghost Hawk, a Little Bird, a truck, a Strider, a Hunter, an Ifrit, anything that comes at you, you absolutely destroy. And I was actually doing really, really good last night on a round of King of the Hill. I haven't played in a very, very long time, but I used that loadout, the AK-12 and the RPG-42, and just absolutely demolished last night. Did a really, really good job. And I kind of surprised myself, like, coming back after playing other games for a few months, you know, coming back to Koth, which is, you know, Koth is... I feel like one of those game modes that's kind of laughed at for being like, oh, that's the noobs game mode. But King of the Hill is basically like the battlefield of Arma. Like it basically puts you in a position where you can get into firefights as quick as possible and as crazy firefights as possible with lots of different people to shoot at. So I feel like playing King of the Hill really increases your overall skill and just overall combat of Arma 3 better than doing any milsim operations, any I don't really know, any other things like that where you take it slow, you take it seriously, you know, because that's a lot of pre-planning. You know, you do train yourself with you know, teamwork and commanding people and communication, but you don't really train yourself exactly with just the firefight, the combat, the weird kind of reflex type of third-person usage combat that you get in Arma 3 King of the Hill, which is very, very useful when you play more competitive game modes like Exile or like Wasteland or things like that, where you really need to hone in your combat skills well, or you'll lose all of your fancy expensive loots. And I still sometimes get the question of why I've stopped playing Arma or why I've stopped playing blank. You know, it's like, it's the weirdest thing. It's like somebody will come onto the channel, they'll watch a few videos, and then they think that the Arma videos, because they only watch the Arma playlist, are all that I do. I've actually tried to make my channel a lot more diverse in the last few months, and I think I've made a few videos about this where, you know, back in, I would think early 2017, you know, I started to spread out of Arma 3 and start to spread out into other games. Like right now, Squad is a big part of the channel, and I'm really enjoying doing Squad videos. But people were kind of upset. They're like, Drewski, why are you not playing Arma 3 anymore? It just... Sometimes I don't want to play certain games. You know, sometimes I play other games like PlanetSide 2 or Battlefield or Titanfall 2 or even Skyrim and other single-player games like that. Even hunting games like The Hunter recently, which you guys had that funny video to watch. But yeah, so today we're going to be going over some of the games that I play off the screen. And if you guys would like to see any of these games in a standalone video, make sure to hit me up about that because I'm definitely up for doing that. Recently, I've actually been playing a lot of PlanetSide 2. If you don't know what PlanetSide 2 is, it's a game that came out around when Battlefield 3 was out, and basically it's a gigantic war with a huge map. It's free to play on Steam, and each server has something like 1,200 people on it, or some number like that. They used to be around 2,000 every server whenever the population was a little bit higher in the game, but now it's around like 1,200 or 1,000 maybe. But still, you can basically be in a battle that's as big as a Battlefield map. But then you look at the actual map, and the map size shows about like 10 other battles happening that are just as large as yours. So just immensely gigantic battles that happen with thousands of people in a single match, which is really, really cool because sometimes you get these gigantic rushes where you're running in a crowd of something like 50 to 100 people. You never really get that in any other games. I mean, just being able to run in a group of people, of other players, with like 100 of them all in one little tiny area is just a crazy interesting feeling, because then you realize just the scale of PC gaming itself, where, you know, 100 people all around the world are in this one little digital location pushing a hill up to an enemy objective. I always think that's really cool, and I mean, even playing Arma or something where I'm up in an A10 and I'm firing down on people below, and, you know, my guys on the ground are calling out objectives for me. I just think that scale, that digital scale of the video game being such a large world, even though it's just in a single file of your computer, is really interesting how it brings people together. Like, I left high school with, I would say, 2 friends maybe. Like I have Chelsea, my girlfriend, and then I have Matthew Duncan, which is my other friend. He's in AIT at the moment, training in the National Guard. But, you know, those are my two main friends when I left high school. Those are the two main people in real life that I talk to regularly. And a lot of my other friends, like the ones that you see in videos like Jamie, Via, AV, NJ, Luton, Racevic, I mean, those guys, they were all just people I met on the internet. And it's kind of a interesting thing that I've made most of my best friends now just off of the internet, playing with them on digital games in digital universes. I feel like I've actually met them before just because I've been in the same games as they have. And even people that I used to play with on Xbox 360 back in the day, where I used to play like Minecraft and Battlefield 3 and stuff at 720p 30 FPS, also good graphics. I mean, even those people that I met way back in the day were more supportive, more friendly, more caring than some of the people you can meet in real life. And I think that games that have enabled the voice proximity, the proximity voice chat, is just awesome, because then you can really actually talk to the people that are right beside you and communicate with them, and sometimes make friends with them. Like I was actually playing King of the Hill the other day, actually, and I was up with a sniper up on a hill like a kilometer away from the objective, and me and him were just talking about stuff. I was like, yeah, I also do YouTube, and he was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And we just talked about, like, he talked about his kids, he talked about what he does as a job, as we were calling out distances for us to snipe at. It's just so refreshing to be in an ecosystem, basically, where you can't be biased by the person's appearance, by their location, by what they're wearing or anything. They're a character in a video game, and their personality is all you really get. And so in places like high school, I definitely relied on, you know, video gaming and the internet to make friends, to make relationships with people, and kind of train myself to be a better speaker and talker and things like that through people that I totally never have met before. And I suggest, if you're a person who feels alone out there, you don't really have many friends, or you moved or something and you're in a totally new environment, hop onto a video game and turn that microphone on, man, because like any situation, you can always say, hey, there's a guy at that corner, and then that one of your teammates might spark up, oh yeah, thanks for that call out, man, and then you get into a full-on conversation with that person. I think anybody who has been talkative on online games before has definitely found a good friend from playing online games. And I think, like, there's a lot of people in my comment section that say, hey, I can't really figure out how to get friends because, like, you have these super cool Arma 3 operations, or you have these super funny people that you play with in squad, and the people will just ask, how do I get that? How do I play with these people? They aren't really asking to play in a public server, because I mean, you can hop on any server and play with random people, but they're asking, how do you really get these friends to play with you? And I just kind of have to answer to that. You just have to open your mouth and talk. You just have to go out there, put yourself out there, and advertise yourself as a friendly person, and some people will be friendly back to you, And especially playing PlanetSide this morning with a squad of people that a few of them actually recognized me as well, which is crazy that people on PlanetSide too are recognizing me. Being able to play with a totally random group of people and having a fun conversation as you do it is just absolutely one of the funnest things in video gaming I've ever experienced. But what other games do I play off screen other than PlanetSide 2? Well, one of the main ones that I'm playing currently is the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. This is the opposite of making friends. Let me be clear, this will get you no friends. This ruins your life, because you end up playing it till 4 a.m. and then the next day you can't get shit done because you're so tired that you literally cannot edit a single clip for a video. This game takes everything out of your life, and it will suck you in and never let you go until you've completed every quest and collected every single sword in the game. I did that once. It was painful. You even have to, like, kind of abuse the game at some points and, like, especially on Xbox 360, you can't do console commands to just spawn in the weapons. So it was a tough time for me, because some of the weapons in Skyrim you can't get because you weren't on that side, like that person's side in a battle or something. So you have to still get that sword in some way, and it's intense, man. I remember filling the room of my house in Skyrim with every single sword in the game, and the floor was just filled with swords, and you could walk around and just hear them clinking and stuff. It was the funniest, most dangerous room I've ever been in my entire video gaming life. Skyrim still captures my interest even today, and I actually play it even more than I do Fallout nowadays, just because I think the theme of Skyrim is just so strong. I think the atmosphere of Skyrim, the people that you talk to in-game, even though there's only like 10 voice actors, the musical score is freaking amazing. I I think that Skyrim's narrative was one of the strongest of any Bethesda games so far, because it was like, yeah, you can go kill these dragons, but, you know, you're just a dragonborn that basically has no memory of his past. He doesn't really know where he came from. You know, it's a person that you created. It's not like it's a Fallout 4 situation where you're a father of a child who gets stolen and your wife gets killed, and right as you walk out of the vaults to go save your child, a guy walks up and says, hey, you wanna build some houses? And you're like, I guess so, yeah, I don't have to care about my son that's lost. I don't know where he is, but let's build some houses. Skyrim just allows you to do whatever you want with their system, and the storyline matches that. Like, it's not an extremely urgent thing that I need to go save my son right now. It's more like, hey, there's these dragons that are coming around, but they aren't killing everybody all at once, so it's kind of okay. You can go do whatever you want. While in Fallout 4, the urgency of finding your own child who has been kidnapped is replaced with them trying to show you the systems of building things in the game. Like, why would my character be interested in building a house for some random settlers when I can go save my son that I've known my entire life? Sorry, mini rant about Fallout 4 right there. I didn't even know that Fallout 4 was going to come into this conversation. But yeah, Skyrim, my playstyle is like light armor. I have the dragon skin armor, I think, at the moment, with a dragon bone sword. That sword is pretty powerful too. I like to go kill things with that pretty fast. But yeah, Skyrim is a game that I think is on my top 10 list of, if you are a PC gamer, you should have played this game. Like, there's some games out there that as a PC gamer I think everybody should play, especially ones that are cheap and good. Games like Rust, games like Garry's Mod, games like Arma, Insurgency, Skyrim, Fallout, No Man's Sky. Actually, just kidding, that game sucks. Ha! I mean, especially the multiplayer games, especially the ones that are free, are the ones I would suggest. Like Unturned, you know, Unturned is a Minecraft-looking DayZ-ish type of survival shooter game. And it's hilariously fun. Like, it's the stupidest but most fun game ever. And I love Unturned. And there's a lot of people that always ask me, you know, should I get this game or should I get this game? Like, should I get Arma or should I get Squad? And I always kind of reply, you know, if you have friends that play online with you and they own Squad, then get Squad, because, you know, your friends might already play Squad. You don't really want to be away from your friends whenever they're playing a game. But if they have Arma, then get Arma. You know, it's just a basic, you know, what do your friends have? But also, you know, what games can you meet new people in? If you don't really have many people to play with online, then definitely grab a game like Rust, for example, that you can make a lot of friends in. Rust is a game where, you know, you're surviving, you're building a little house, you're gonna have neighbors, you're gonna have people that you're gonna be communicating to, you're gonna have funny moments where you get shot and killed and screamed at in different languages, but you're also gonna have moments where you help somebody defend their own home from an attacking group of raiders. By the way, talking about Rust, we do have a Rust server called Drewski's Rust server. It's in the modded section. It's pretty cool. You've got the Play Rust map, so you can look around and see where you are, so you can find good places to sleep at night. And also, it's got some extra little modifications to the loot system and things like that to make the game a little bit easier for new players. So it's a great server to start off for new players of the game Rust. But yeah, I actually regularly play Rust on our server as well, so commonly I'll be walking around and checking people's houses out, saying hi, greeting people that are in the server. But yeah, it's a pretty cool server. We definitely have a lot of fun on it. Well, alrighty guys, that is all I have for you today, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Make some friends out there, and I'll see you in the next one.